The Gypsy Tymes by AnnaShea Downey, teaching communities to learn how to help a much-needed tipping point by teaching rehabilitation, proactive violent prevention terminologies to learn how to use within the community and on social media, to educate the raw truths about the groups who are implementing toxic violent community dynamics, the broken system, corruptions, gangs, and many other groups. To teach how to create a shift where we as a community engage for humanity to overcome violence, poverty, and underdevelopment. As I watched the sun twinkle on the pond that I was taught to swim in, many fished in, and a body of water located in Meridian, Mississippi on the family property, I think to myself that if this pond could talk, it would tell all of Mississippi's dirty little secrets. This pond is located on the front of the property, which was built in 1951 after the house was built in 1935. The house is still located on the family property and was finished and built in 1935 by Mr. Eugene Pine, his wife Mrs. Annabelle Bailey Pine, and his daughter Mildred Pine, and Mildred's husband Ed Merhoff. Mr. Eugene Pine, Annabelle, and Mildred moved to Meridian, Mississippi from Macomb, Mississippi, for Mr. Pine to accept the master mechanic for the railroad. Their whole story will be in my book titled Never Neverland. So you can only imagine the amount of white and black people who educated their experiences in Mississippi while they fished right here on the same pond. I can picture my great-grandmother serving all who were fishing back then her famous popcorn biscuits, drizzled with honey, and her fresh lemonade. Her popcorn biscuits are said to be cut by her thimble. A story told to me by local manager who was a client of mine while I was an account executive for advertising. A moment in time that he said he would never forget as a child. To call the fish to the pier, Annabelle, who I called Mimi, would pound on an old bucket so the fish would swim to the pier and the people could catch the fish. Then she would cook all the fish for them and have a great feast. She was always serving people, no matter what color they were, always listening to their experiences and teaching her own experiences that she endured while living in Meridian, Mississippi and Macomb, Mississippi. They were all trying to figure it out, you see, yet they all experienced targeting and hardships. While I'm on the phone right now in today's time, I stand on the bank of the same pond to hear different people's story about what hell that they are all going through. And then I have to explain what the crisis doctor, military veterans, ex-gang members who rehabilitate gangs, mafia, and corruption throughout the United States, what we discovered about the state of Mississippi and its mindset. The information is to keep a person alive while they're being targeted. And as I speak, my brain becomes like an animated viewfinder, clicking the courses of time, watching the generations before me fish in the same pond and telling their same horror story to the family that built this property, to the family that adopted my mother. I can only wish that they were here to give them the answers that we all discovered as they, and now I, work in this violent hellhole, poverty, and hardships. As I create this video and narrate, I sit right by a window overlooking the same pond. And as violence and crime increases, I know that I must engage. I must try to educate what we discovered as groups in the Mississippi epidemic battlefield. From a trait that we discovered to the critical crisis rehabilitation maneuvers and terminologies, I must educate many of you around me that I love and respect, no matter what color you are, no matter if we agree or disagree on certain subjects. It doesn't matter if you are rich or poor. I must try to educate this state. And then, yes, eventually, the other states that make up this country. This is not how I nor the doctor wanted to engage to describe to you all that we've discovered. We did not want to educate by me just making a video. I wanted back on air. Doc wanted on air, as well as implementing proper speeches to produce at the real format. That way, you could be educated properly. But this is the only way. So I will implement this video. I will record this video so you can share if you are ready to learn all that we learned to make a stand to teach, and to teach all of you to help produce a tipping point on social media and within our communities. How to implement the critical crisis rehabilitation, proactive, violent, and crime prevention information. I will formally educate the trait when I can for all of you who I've reached out to and to the ones I think have the trait. But at this moment, we must look at the squeaky wheel that needs the oil, and that would mean the violence. We must try to be proactive. I am reaching out to provide information and to share my own experience in the American South as a mother in the epidemic battlefield of Mississippi, saving one of my own, myself, and from what we've experienced within certain groups who are engaging to implement crime, embezzlement, toxic, violent community dynamics. My professional background is in media marketing advertising, learning the truth about our corruptions, broken systems, mafia, gangs, and many others, and targeted to tell the God honest truth about many while learning this information. What we need right now to even educate the information is more likes and shares. See, the media must see that you, as a community, want proactive violent prevention and that it's famous, it's a fad, instead of the violence being a fad or just reactive storytelling, which has increased the violence by placing a spotlight on the groups who implement toxic, violent community dynamics. That is the only way for us to start. I want you all to picture all of us standing at the same pond as my family, and heck, some of your own families could have been fishing in this pond. I want all of you who are humane, please picture us right now fishing together, sharing our experiences, our hardships, trauma, and then how we can learn how to come together to shift for a proactive violent prevention tipping point. I could only wish that Mr. Eugene Pine, Annabelle, Mildred, and many others that's in their stories, like Mr. Abe and all of the others, were right here with us. And of course, I would love to taste Annabelle's food, but they're not, and we are. So let's join together, learn together, and help a shift to curb and to prevent a percentage of this violence. Please like and share, because we need many to start this movement. Thank you all for listening. The Gypsy Tymes by AnnaShea Downey. Teaching communities to learn how to help a much-needed tipping point by teaching rehabilitation, proactive violent prevention terminologies to learn how to use within the community and on social media. To educate the raw truths about the groups who are implementing toxic violent community dynamics, the broken system, corruptions, gangs, and many other groups. To teach how to create a shift where we as a community engage for humanity to overcome violence, poverty, and underdevelopment.